Hey guys, it's me again, and as you can see here in my car, it's currently raining, so hopefully the rain isn't as loud as my voice. And in this video, we're going to be talking about why people don't care. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, it's simple. People just don't care nowadays. Doesn't matter which degree is, doesn't matter what your career is, doesn't matter if you have like lots of money. Well, in that case, maybe they would kind of care a little bit, but um yeah, people just don't really care anymore because we all have our own lives, we're all in our own little worlds and stuff like that, which is kind of sad, but it's true. It took me a long time to kind of realize that, because back when I was like 25 and I was still making these videos on my old channel, um, I would tell people like about like these life stories, um, that did happen, and I thought like a lot of people would kind of care, or at least would like understand where I was coming from and whatnot. But um, I kind of learned that the hard way, But it's whatever, Um, it's a new me now, and what matters is I've learned from my mistakes, and I'll never again do that. But what do you mean by examples of why people don't really care? Well, I don't think it's not something. Well, let's say, like for example, right? You're trying to achieve something, or you found like your goal, your calling you want to do, and you actually strive for that goal, and you tell people about it. They might seem like, oh wow, that's nice, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be really thinking like, oh wow, it's so impactful that I want to do this myself. No, they're just gonna go on with their day. They're gonna go on with their everyday jobs. And wow, this rain's really loud. And this rain is really, really loud. And then the next day, they're gonna go back in their everyday jobs and just gonna be like, whatever, until like maybe like you post something online or something, like you accomplish something, maybe they would slightly care. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it's their lives, not yours. um you know um Not everybody will agree with your accomplishment. Not everybody will be happy about your accomplishment. There'll be a lot of haters that wishes that you could have the things that you want, or the type of dream that you gotten, but they couldn't have. Um, you know, this world is filled with lots of like envy and jealousy, But yeah, I kind of just want to tell you guys that telling people everything is not really the best like idea, Um, like a lot of things that I do in my life, even though like I tell you guys everything that I do in my lives, I know like deep down, like I know you guys really wouldn't care, If you do, then it's awesome, But um, it's like deep down I kind of think that maybe it's because probably from like the comments that I received from the past, they kind of got into my head, but it's whatever. Um, I'm still trying hard. It's still everything's okay, and I know everything will work out. But yeah, a lot of people just really wouldn't care about certain things. A lot of people really wouldn't care if you waste somebody's time when talking to someone, you know, you have interest with, or etc. A lot of people won't really care or would be willing to help, someone in need, you know. For example, if you see like a homeless person, they're not willing to care to help that person. Just why? Why would they? You know? And that's kind of the thing. I've noticed that in this generation, a lot of people just don't really care for things anymore. It's kind of corrupted when you think about it, you know? And I feel like it's always going to be like this. It's always going to be like this, and it's just going to get worse and worse. Because why? Because society got kind of messed up. And, you know, people are going to be a lot different than they were like 100 years ago. That's how it was, that's how history was made. But that's just life, that's the world that we live in, you know, that's the price that we paid ever since Adam and Eve have sinned against God, you know. It sucks, but it's whatever. That's reality. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, if you want to accomplish something, do it in private. Don't tell people what you want to do, because people just don't care, and people don't really want you to succeed, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody will really care about the type of videos that I make, but yeah, it's whatever.